Today's class is a Strong Flow class that focuses on our upper body and then some abdominals, and of course we finish off with some mindfulness. So we're going to get started straight away. Come down onto the floor, onto your mat, and on your hands and knees to begin. So we're going to start in this 4-point kneeling position where we're just feeling that the hands are underneath your shoulders and shoulder width apart, and your knees are underneath your hips and hip width apart. So make those little adjustments now and look through to your legs and make sure that they're under the hips and not wide or too far forward or too far back. Unlock the elbows a little bit and just press gently the floor away and bringing the ribs up to your t-shirt at the back. So you're feeling the ribs floating upwards and the back of the head light. Take a moment and breathe in through your nose and feel the ribs expand. And breathe out through the mouth. Let the ribs just fall and draw the pelvic floor and lower tummy up and in. And we'll breathe in again. And again breathe out and engage those lower tummy muscles. So really drawing them in and up here. And take one more breath in. And breathe out. Let's do a cat stretch. Breathe in, and as you breathe out, drop the tail and the head as though you could curl up into a tight ball. And then breathe in and lengthen back to the neutral spine. And breathe out, pull up. Draw the tummy in and up, let your head hang. Breathe in and lengthen. Press all of your hand into the mat. Try not to roll onto the outside of the hand. Breathe out, pull up. Breathe in, lengthen. So just gently moving through the spine with the breath, getting things warmed up gently. Do feel as though your abdominal muscles pull in so much it brings you to the cat stretch. And then you feel the length through the spine coming back to neutral. 2 more times. Breathe out, pull up. In, lengthen. Last one. And breathe in, lengthen, and just have a little rest back off your arms. Take your arms forward, your head down. Stay there. Breathe in, actively reach the arms further forward, so creep them along the mat. And then push your hands down and forward into the mat to get your bottom back further. Two more breaths. Last one. And then come back to your 4-point kneeling position. Something a little bit different today. I'm going to use a bit more of an explosive kind of strength work here in this position. So what we're going to do is you take one foot back, you put your toes, the ball of your foot on the floor, and we push back so it goes back a little bit off the mat. And so you come to a sort of a lunge. You don't need to go all the way down, and then you're going to push off and lift. So we come down, I'm going to move forward on my mat. Push back and down into like a lunge and then lift the leg. Now when you lift the leg, I don't want you to lift it as high as you can, do a big kick at the back. Just bring it to that, hit that position where your glutes working and your core is staying strong so you're not arching in the back as you lift your leg up. So you breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. It's quite a short, sharp little explosion so that you hit the spot straight away. Good. 2 more. You might feel it in this kneeling glute. I certainly am. And then we're going to add an arm, or you keep going with that. So we lift, we come back. We lift, we come back. So we hit the spot. We find neutral quickly. We're firing up those neurons and training them to find neutral quickly, because we don't move around in our lives as slow as we do sometimes in our Pilates class. 1 more. And you should be feeling that. I can certainly feel it in my kneeling glute. So we do the other side. Make sure you've got enough room on your mat. We just start with the leg first. So we shoot the leg back and we press through the ball of the foot, lunge back and lift. So don't go too far past your hands, or so there's not a lot of load on the wrists. It's not necessarily dangerous, but you probably burn your wrists out pretty quickly. Use that core to keep the hips stable, the lower back stable. So you're not arching in your back to kick your leg up. You're using the strength of your lower glute and hamstring to bring it up to the ceiling. So strengthening the back of the hip. Now start with the opposite hand, or stick with just the leg. You're hitting that spot each time. So your body should be heating up quite a bit here now. Good, keep going. 2 more. Last one. And rest. Knees wide, sit back onto your heels, have a moment, reach the arms forward, breathe in. And out, and just melt. We've got one more exercise on the hands and knees, last breath. And just roll back and come to sitting. Really direct core work now with the hands and knees. So come onto your hands and knees position, curl the toes under, knees under hips, hands under shoulders. All you're going to do is a little knee hover. So we take a breath in and we breathe out and just float the knees just up off the mat, maybe 4 centimeters. Keep pressing the floor away, zipping up through the core, reaching through the crown. Hold, release down to the floor. 2 more, breathe in, breathe out. And now while you're lifting the knees up here, feel as though your tail is being lifted up by a helium balloon that's floating you up to the ceiling. Your head's reaching forward, your tail's moving back. And we've got 1 more. Soften the elbows, breathe out. Whole hand activates, float it up. Hold, hold, and release. Good work. All right, so our core is definitely warmed up now. And we've got our glutes fired up and our hamstrings. So we'll come onto the side now, onto your elbow. Elbow under your shoulder. And make sure that it really is, so that you're not stressing the shoulder joint out here. We're going to take the arm onto your side, lift it up. Now something a little different is that when you take the arm up, I want you to lift up through the underneath side. So sort of make a harbour bridge under here. We don't normally do that. So really stretch through the side of the body and then come back to neutral with the arm to the side and then thread the needle. So thread, try and turn the upper body but pull the hip back and back again. So we go overhead, lift up into the harbour bridge, stretch the side body. Breathe in, breathe out, and twist, twist, twist. Pull the hip back, but reach the ribs and the elbow around and really get that stretch. Breathe in, breathe out, lift. You can look at the floor if that's nicer, on the neck, and thread the needle. So we're working on strength and mobility here. We're working on that upper body strength through that single arm resting on the floor here. But really here is also you're trying to get that hip back and these ribs around. Breathe in and side bend and open up. 3 more. 1. Just alternate that breathing. On the stretching part, you breathe out. 2. Last 1. Your shoulder's probably feeling that now because we have been on it for a little while. And up and over. And then come up. Okay, so just come up exactly where you are and you're going to kneel on that same knee. So I'm going to come back a little bit. I realise I cut out. So your knee on that you were just laying on, that's on the floor and the other leg is out to the side. We take our hands behind our head. We breathe in, reach up and over, breathe out. So we're working these side muscles here now. In and feel the side lift you up. 3, push the foot down onto the floor. And 4. head into the hands. 5 and 6 and 7 and 8, 2 more, and 9, last one, 10, come all the way up, then come all the way down. You might need to slide that foot in a bit to get your hand on the floor. Take your arm over your head, keep the foot on the floor, really push it down, and then open up that side and take some deep breaths. Curl the tail under. You can look down if it feels better. 3 breaths. Really feel that active stretch. And then bring the arm up and we come onto the other side, onto our other elbow. So elbow under the shoulder, knees bent. Breathe in, take the arm up, breathe out, lift that underneath side. So lifting up from there, come back and thread the needle, twist, 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 bringing it through, keep the hip pulling back. Breathe in. And just keep moving with your breath. And feel that pretty big stretch if you really keep the hips nice and stable. So pull the top hip back as you try to get the ribs around, and you can see it's harder to talk because I'm really pulling that hip back and really moving those ribs around. Breathe in, breathe out. Take your time when you're doing these mobility ones because you'll cut yourself short otherwise. There's sometimes a millimetre more in there you could go around and you just don't know. 2 more. Last one. All the way back. So come up, kneeling on that same side that you're on, knee under your hip. Make sure you've got plenty of room. Stick the leg out to the side, hands behind your head. Breathe in, up and over. Breathe out to lift for 8 or 10 actually. 2 and 3. So you're really feeling that side panel of core working. 4. Tuck the tail under a little bit. 5 and 6. Keep your head back in your hands. Try not to let your chin pop forward. 2 more. Last one. And then come on down. Bring the hand to the floor. Let the foot slide in so your hand can get down on the ground. And then take your arm up and over. But when your foot is on the floor, push it down. You just get a little more opening all through that side hip area and the side of the ribs. You can put your head down if that feels nicer. But tuck the tail, press it forward. Breathe 3 breaths. And then slowly coming up out of that giant stretch and come over and onto your back on your mat. So we're going to do some bridging with arms just to equalize all of that work, all of that side work that we just did. So feet hip width apart, hands down beside your hips. Just take a minute to really get organized on the floor. So let yourself melt in. Feel where the weight is, make those micro adjustments so that you're more even through the hips and the ribs. Take a breath in, bridging. As you breathe out, curl up, press down into your feet, reach those knees forward. Breathe in, float your arms overhead, only if those ribs stay down. If they don't take them as far. Breathe out, melt down into the floor. And breathe in, such a good exercise for that upper back. Breathe out. Bridging is one of those exercises that we do all the time in Pilates. It really tells a lot of tales, and it really sorts a lot of things out, and most people can do it. So it's a great exercise, even though you might have done 654 bridges in your Pilates lifetime. They just never really fail to give you what you need on lots of levels. Arms up and over. Breathe out, curl up, push down through your feet. Really scoop that tail under. Arms float overhead, melting down into the floor. Now, if you feel some ribs are a little bit sticky as you're coming down, perhaps you don't want to take the weight of the arms further over and just focus really on rib at a time, really mindfully moving through here as you roll up and down. Breathe out, rolling up. Breathing in, arms overhead. Breathe out, melt, 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 melt into the floor. Breathe in, hands back over. We'll do one more. Breathe out, roll, foot presses into the floor. Feel those hips elevate, the ribs staying down. In, chin down. Breathe out, melting down. And breathe in, hands coming back. We're going to flow through now. We're going into side to side. So take the knees up, or you keep your feet on the floor. Either way, same exercise. Squeeze the legs together. Breathe in, take the knees across to one side. Knees must be level. Have a look at them. Make sure one isn't down. Press it up. Pull back through your core. In, going over. Shoulders wide. Out, pulling back. In, going across. Roll onto that hip as though it's heavy and it pulls you across. Breathe out. Coming back. Breathe in, shoulders wide. Breathe out and use your core strength to bring the legs back. In, over, chin down. Out, coming back. So make sure that chin isn't poking up and your neck's not all tense at the back. Melt the back of your neck. Let it go. For the base of the skull, release as you twist just from the waist down. And last one, in to go across and out to come back. Hands at the back of the knees. Take a breath in, assisted roll up. Breathe out, chin to your chest, squeeze your legs together, push your feet down, roll up to sitting, lift up tall, breathe in. Breathe out, melting into the ground. Slide the feet in and then come back up to that assisted tabletop position. Breath out. Use your breath and the strength of your abs. Breathe out. It's a real push-pull between the legs and the arms. Pushing with the legs, pulling with the arms. So it really is an abdominal workout, getting you ready for those full roll-ups. If this is not suitable, sitting up on your mat and just doing little rollbacks. Keep going if you're doing full ones. Otherwise, you could just really practice getting that scoop through the tummy and the abdominals pulling in. And you can just really still get quite a good workout. Otherwise, keep going. Rolling back to your tabletop. Or perhaps you can roll up and down, but you'd like to really refine that movement of the pelvis. So you could still just do those little ones and you're going to get so much out of it. Two more. Just flowing through. We're going to flow straight on through into single leg stretch. So as we roll down now, we're going to take our legs straight up into our single leg stretch position. So keep your upper body up, your legs at tabletop. Take two hands to one knee, slide that one down to your shin, flex your feet, off we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, then into crisscross. 5, 4, 3, 2, hold it 1, hands behind your head. Across you go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, push, pull with the legs. 3, 2, 1, stretch one leg up, reach one leg out, off we go, scissor the legs, come up though, through your chest, really squeezing in through those abs. 2 and 1, hug your knees, roll down, Sorry, I keep forgetting the mic is really close to me, so I hope I'm not shouting. Just getting excited. Hug those knees in. Give them a good squeeze in. We've got one more little abdominal exercise. Release the legs, hands behind your head, knees at tabletop. Breathe out to come up. We're going to do a little double toe tap. Now, if that's too much on your lower back, you just do a single one. And you don't need to get to the floor. Remember, it's not about how far you go, it's about how well you can do it. So if you're going down and your back's excessively arching, you're going too far. Out, down, in, up. Three more. One, head in hands. Two, last one. Three, and roll it down. Hug your legs into your chest. We're going to give you a well-deserved hip stretch here. So come up onto your knees and just place one foot forward on the floor, and then curl your back toes under and lunge into it today. So reach it forward. Curl your tail under, and then you can rest your elbow on your knee and take the other arm up and over to the side. Hold and breathe and tuck. Keep that pelvis moving under and up. And then coming up, changing sides. Curl the back toes under, lunge into it. Elbow on knee, reach up and over. Keep the hips squaring up. So pulling the hip back on the side that you've got your foot on the floor at the front. Reach up and over, keep tucking. Just find a little bit more with each breath. And then coming up and release the stretch, making your way into mindfulness now. And you can either stay seated, so if you want to sit on your lounge or sit on a chair, do that now. But let's sit up either way. If you've got something you can sit on that you can roll up, grab that now. And just settle into your position. So you don't have to have your feet right up here. You can let them sort of move out a bit. And that opens up the hips when you sit right at the end of your bolster. Closing down your eyes. Hands resting on your knees, either palms down or palms up, whatever feels right for you. We're going to take a long, deep breath in, and I want you to feel it come in through the nose and draw all the way down to your pelvic bowl, and then let it linger there before you breathe out. Let it come up your spine, this is your visual, and out your mouth. So when you're ready, breathing in for a count of 1, 2, 3, 4, pause right at the bottom. Breathe out through your mouth, up the spine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pause. So it's in for 4, out for 5. In for 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. Breathe out. Let it go up your spine for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, pause. In through the nose. 1, 2, 3, 4, pause. Out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, pause. In again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. Out, up the spine for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pause. 3 more rounds. In, 2, 3, 4. Pause. Out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pause. In 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. Out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pause. One more round. In, right down. 2, 3, 4. Pause. Out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pause. Just let that breathing go now. Allow the lips to close. Let the breath come in and out on it by itself through the nose. We're going to strengthen our mental fitness by just dropping in straight away and focusing on your breath. Watch it coming in and out by itself. I'll mind the time. If your mind has wandered, just come back to the breath gently. Spine is lengthened. Forehead soft. Breath coming in and out by itself. Shoulders falling away. Bottom heavy. Hips open. Allow your eyes just to crack open, looking at the floor, allowing the light to infiltrate the eyes. When you're ready, bringing the eyes up to eye level. And you may choose to sit here a little bit longer and just bathe in the goodness, or go about with the rest of your day feeling strong and calm. I will see you next time. Thanks.